Welcome to the Inspired Leadership Facilitator Certification. This is just a little walkthrough to give you a sense of what is covered in the Facilitator Certification. So what you can see here is you will start with an introduction and a welcome and the NDA. So the non-disclosure agreement, if you have already completed that as a channel partner, then it's the same document. And then you'll get introduced to what makes inspired leadership unique, special, and different. We do cover some of the same content as in the channel partner certification, but it is not a prerequisite to be a channel partner in order to be a facilitator. When you get into the main body of the learning journey, you'll need to understand as a facilitator who the key relationships you need to have are. So the relationships are important because your relationship will be with a channel partner and with a client directly. You also have a very key role to play in the path to launch. We make a special effort, a big effort to get the right people in the path, which then sets us up for success. Your biggest job is to create the kickoff and an impactful orientation journey. So that is the first real face-to-face or facilitator-led moment that the participants have with you as the facilitator. The next thing is the learning journal. That's just for you to know what's in it, and you can have access to it there and just to work through what does the learning journal entail and what's inside it. You'll work through how we actively engage managers through the learning journey, and you'll be introduced to the communications plan, which is something that you will work quite heavily with as you send various communications to your participants and the upline. You'll also get some exposure to what's inside the different learning journeys, emerging leader and manager to leader, and you'll look at the checkpoint conversation. So what role do you play as the facilitator, and what do you need to do to facilitate that checkpoint conversation? Your biggest job is at the tips. So facilitating the tip is really what you're there for. That is the short group coaching sessions that are held at the end of every module. So that'll go through what happens, how do you work it, where are the materials, give you an indication of what the flow is of a tip. And then you'll move into some process facilitation tips. Now, the facilitation certification is not a certification on how to be a process facilitator or coach. You need to start with some basic understanding, but this element of the learning journey will give you some videos on how to facilitate a process related discussion and do reflective questioning, active listening, and so on to help the conversation move throughout the tip. There are some tips here around managing participant engagement, and then you move into what support do you have and the administration of these learning journeys. This section here is when you get your hands dirty and prepare for your first kickoff. So the material that is linked here, directly linked into the facilitated knowledge base. So the material that you need as a facilitator is all stored in what's called the Facilitator Knowledge Base, and you will download from there and use that material. So essentially this is just a quick link into that knowledge base for you to get yourself prepared for that kickoff. You'll need to complete the kickoff as well as your first tip with an active group of learners before you can move through to the certification. And the certification piece is just to clarify that you have already done a tip and you have done a kickoff, and then you'll be able to do a little self-review on what was that like for you, what are some of your strengths, where are some of your growth areas, and schedule a call to talk that through. Once you've done all that, then you will be given access to the facilitator community, which is the knowledge base, and get your certification through an assessment. So that then unlocks the certificate at the end of the learning journey. Time-wise, it's quite difficult to say how long this will all take you, but it depends on how urgently you need it. It's amazing how that works. So I would recommend that you put aside a good sort of 8 to 10 hours to get yourself to a point where you're able to start preparing for your first kickoff. And another couple of hours for your first tip. So the material is all there for you. It's just around being familiar with it and getting yourself comfortable with it and making any edits that you need to for your particular client. So overall, it's about a 10 to 12 hour preparation and then execution of the kickoff and the tip. And then you'll come back to the platform to complete the certification assessment and release your certificate. I hope that helps to give you a sense of what's in the facilitation certification. It is required, you need to have completed most of it in order to be allocated to a Inspired Leadership Active journey, and then you will return here to complete the certificate. If you are already a channel partner, a lot of this will make sense and you will not need as much time. You can actually whiz through right up until kind of preparing for the kickoff, because you will know a lot about all of these things already. And this just gives you the detail of how to do it and what are the process steps. Look forward to having you as part of our Inspired Leadership Facilitation team.